But take us through, because that's really interesting about using that specific, plant for your product. How do you start researching and developing a product with Agent Nateur? Like what is the process like there?
So I basically went to someone who is in LA who's extremely knowledgeable with essential oils. And I said to her, I want to know the most powerful essential oils to use. Just give me the most powerful anti-aging. I want like the most powerful and the most expensive. I like everything that's like expensive and good quality. And I really want to be known like as the Hermes of my products, just because I love good quality.
Yeah.
And the two oils she said were rose and helichrysum. Mm. And so I started to play with the helichrysum and I saw results. So I'm all about efficacy and I'm very results driven.
Yeah.
And I won't put something out unless it's actually effective and actually works. A lot of people have marketing tactics that they use when they release their products, and then the product's like shit. And I want people to see the quality and feel it for themselves. And I want the products to kind of speak for themselves.
Right.
So when I started to play with the helichrysum, I had feedback, like I had started with the face oil. It has helichrysum and rose, and it has to be a specific kind of rose, by the way. Like you should never put a rose absolute on the face, because rose absolute goes through a different kind of process than a distillation. A rose absolute is usually created for fragrance and for perfume. And so it goes through a process with hexane where they clean the petals and then they process it to extract the oil. And when they do that, it can irritate the face. It's not bad. It's not harmful. It can just it can just irritate. And you really want to use that absolute only for fragrance purposes, for natural fragrance purposes. Whereas like a rose damascena, which is like one of the highest quality roses that you can use. It's extremely expensive. I don't know. I mean, the price of rose is insane right now, but I don't know. You can pay anywhere between like $10,000 and $20,000 for like a kilo of rose damascena. That rose in particular is high in vitamin C. And the reason I like to use it is because when you have something that's high in vitamin C, it makes the other products absorb a little bit better. Just like, I combine vitamin C when I take iron because I'm anemic. And I know that when I combine the vitamin C with the iron, that it's going to work a bit better because vitamin C makes everything absorb better. So it's the same topically. So I include the rose. Yes, it has antioxidant properties. Yes, it's high in vitamin C, but I find that it makes my other products work a little bit better. Overall, I think that essential oils can really be irritating on the face. So I just stick with those two in particular, rose and helichrysum. And then anything else I use is extremely low percentages. And that would only be for fragrance purposes.
Yeah,
but for the body, I play a lot with all kinds of essential oils and isolates and absolutes.
Yeah, I really like that idea of, first off, testing on yourself, experiential, not making it a marketing thing, because a lot of people just sit back and say, what are the keywords here? And let's put this one with this one and make a product and put it out there. And the other idea is synergy. In any natural or health product, anti-aging skin product, anything, there needs to be a synergy. You can't just, my father described it as making a meal. You can't just put a bunch of ingredients together because they sound good and it's suddenly going to be a great meal that you present and it's going to taste well. There's got to be synergy between the spices, everything you put on the plate together. And it sounds like that's a lot of what your products are doing. They're synergizing off of each other to make them better than the individual parts are. Now,
yeah, in some ways, I think, the pain, all of the pain, the physical pain of the endometriosis. Like I have this gift where I I am able to formulate. It does go through a strict regulatory process, and my chemist checks everything, but she doesn't really quite understand how I know how to do it. And it is a gift of mine that I don't speak about much because I don't want to get attacked since I'm not a chemist. But I do understand formulation and percentages, and I don't know where that comes from exactly. So it's like, I like to attribute it to, like, I don't know, I think, God gave me this disease and also gave me a way to like heal it, because if it weren't for this disease, I wouldn't have my company.
Right. It's the blessing and the curse. And I think anyone that's gone through a serious chronic condition and comes out the other side will see it someday as the blessing. Of course, during it, it's a total curse. There's no doubt about it. Anyone you speak to with a tough condition where they're really suffering sees that as a very bad thing, and rightfully so. But when you get past it, you can then see it brings you to a new level. It kind of evolves you into something else and lets you see things differently and create new things based off that. In your case, this great line.